super jogo Vampyr. Agora eu vou para a terceira missão. A segunda missão eu acabei jogando sozinho, não fiz a live porque eu pensei que eu não ia passar e acabei passando. Tinha um monstro ali nos esgotos, eu acabei matando o monstro. Um monstro gigante, parecia uma ratazana. Ratazana com asas. Vou pegar aqui algumas. Isso aqui, your king, your country. Seu rei, seu país precisa. Ah, tá bom. Isso aqui. Não tinha vindo aqui ainda. Esse jogo é muito bom. Eu joguei ontem de noite. Na madrugadeira é melhor ainda. Pegando essas coisas aqui pra fazer os upgrades depois. Já consegui já cuidar minhas armas, coisa que eu não estava sabendo fazer. Ó a arma, ó. Aqui, ó. Tem pistola, bastão de 2 mãos, machadinha, tiro. Eu diminui um pouquinho a sensibilidade do mouse. Vamos nessa. Ali os caçadores. Eu acho que os caçadores de vampiro não tem como evitar eles. Ah, evitei, ó. O jogo é muito bom, cara. Muito bom mesmo. Vale a pena. Galera, tá muito caro ainda. Espera um pouquinho. Promoção e compra. É um jogão. Quem gosta de single player, de aventura, vou ver aqui. Quase ratazana.
This is despicable.
Aqui é a casa de alguém, ó. Conhecido. Um prédio. Eu por enquanto tô comendo mais as ratazanas. Ó. Ah, me acertou. Ah, caiu. Tem os poderes aqui, mas não tô sabendo usar. Usando o teclado. Ó, tem uns poderes bons. Como eu tô jogando o teclado, eu não tô conseguindo. Peraí. Essa casa aqui vai ser meu meu livro. Tem minha arma. É, mas tá cheio de monstros essa cidade, cara. As coisas aqui, né? Vou falar com esse cara.
What happened?
Podridão, esses caras
Who are
morrem.
you?
It's all right, sir. You're safe now.
A fellow Englishman. Thank you, sir. For a moment I thought those bloody heathens had killed me.
What are you doing here? This place is not safe.
Yeah, it's a cesspool, but it's mine. I came to collect some overdue rent. But those who still live here have gone completely bonkers.
You're very lucky to be alive.
Yeah, filthy immigrants. Fucking savages, every one of them. And now with this bloody fever, they're just animals.
You can find safety of
O cara
sorts
não
in
gosta de
Whitechapel.
imigrantes.
If you're quick and cautious, you'll be able to avoid the savages.
Qualidade do sangue do cara. Vou morder esse. O dinguinho. E lá em cima pra matar aqui. Mas o cara não deu nem comendo esse rato.
Thirst for blood.
Ah, me matou, cara. Tô dizendo que eu não tô sabendo usar os poderes aqui no 1, 2, 3. O sofrimento faz parte da condição imortal. A dor nunca acabará. Nessa. Piedade abandonada. Novo. Pegar o meu bastão. Esse bastão de 2 mãos ele é muito mais poderoso.
You had better return to Whitechapel.
Safety isn't really an issue in Whitechapel, because you never are. Never have been.
Eu já estive. Ainda bem que o jogo não volta. Pera. É briga de vampiro com vampiro, credo. O cara pega as identificações. Carta de apelo. Podridão. Aqui uma imundície. Pelumpa, hein? Pelumpa. Bate White. Cheguei ainda. Uma rata.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
Eu tenho que comer rato para não matar as pessoas inocentes. Enquanto estamos aqui, vamos assistindo Portugal e Espanha 1-1, 39 do primeiro tempo. Sangue de rato não é tão potente e saboroso, mas recupera parcialmente. Acho que eu vou ter que lutar com esses... Ah, pô. Pode. Matei os dois, hein? Não tem mais nada. Aqui, ó. O mouse é muito sensível nesse jogo. Coloquei o meu mouse aqui no mais lento. Mas não é por aqui. Cristiano Ronaldo tá mandando bala, hein? Vampyr. Dois caras. Corre que a bala vai comer. Porra. Tem que matar esse ditador. Programar. Proteja nossa liberdade. Alice na Marinha Real. Quer informações? King Meteor. É.
This is despicable.
O esconderijo desbloqueado. Esconderijo é bom que daí o cara não precisa ir lá. Ir lá lá no hospital.
I have this thirst for blood. Dei bala, né? I can't believe I'm doing this. This is despicable.
Pneumonia.
More and more of these bloody leeches every night. Aye. But the guards are recruiting more and more every year.
When did you join the guard? 2 days ago. This is my first patrol.
Vou aumentar um pouquinho o brilho. De brilho. Assim fica melhor.
It's closed.
Tá.
It's locked all right.
One year I know it.
Olha ali o monstrão, ó.
This is not a place for you, sir.
Ah,
Are you deaf?
vocês não viram o monstro lá, ó? Sai, sai.
Die, vermin! We have to stop him! Die, vermin! Oh my God!
Olha o poder agora. Eu não pegou não. Ah, é? Vamos ver. Bem que agora eu tô ficando fodão. Magrão tem uma... Magrão tem uma... Por que ele tinha uma garra? Metros.
Whitechapel. This neighborhood is linked somehow to the kind Lady Ashbury's blackmail. First, let's find this Petrescu fellow.
Tá num açougue. Ela matou o cara.
What? Shooting a boy in the middle of the street. Not the best thing to do, wouldn't you say?
What? You saw what happened? Who are you?
I'm Dr. Reed, and I'd like to ask you a few questions, if you promise me to set your gun aside.
No. Look, I'm not a violent man. I'm Benjamin Palmer, doctor. And no one can help me. Not even you.
I have found a very interesting letter. Your son planned to prove his worth to the gang by stealing your medicine.
Oh, I see. So the little bugger thought he could use his dad to build a reputation.
The gang's recruiter was dead when I found him. Perhaps you should take better care of your son.
I love my Albert, sir. Believe me. It's just... well, I'm an arsehole, I suppose. Anyway, thanks for the letter. This is for your trouble.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? Have you heard anything?
It's funny, I'll be searching for her too. I need some pills. But the woman is a phantom, if you ask me.
Really? And why is that?
Word is she ain't real. She's a cover for some doctor who runs an illegal dispensary for migrants.
Whatever the boy did, I'm sure he didn't deserve a public execution.
I swear I didn't want to hit him. It's just that I'm sick in the head, you see, and the boy just frayed me last nerve.
Malvadão, então.
Perhaps you could focus for a moment and tell me your troubles.
I'm sick, broke, and my son just stole my pills. Everything's coming up roses.
What can you tell me about this place?
Nothing to say, really. This is where I used to live, and this is where I live now.
You mean you used to have a better life?
Yeah, I had a wife, a home, and a job. I even used to have a name. Now I'm just Ben. Ben the Tramp.
You don't have anywhere to go? No family that would welcome you?
Not since the death of my wife. Albert's mother. She was sick, you see. Long before the flu and all this shit.
A gun, alcohol, and a bad temper make a terrible cocktail, sir. Goodbye for now.
Me? I'll not die in some piss-stinking alley reeking worse than a week-old lavvy.
When science fails you,
Bloody hell.
this
What?
elixir will give you faith again.
Are you all right?
The bastard hit the wall next to me. I don't even know if he meant to miss.
If you've been hurt, I can help you. I'm a doctor.
Name's Albert. Remember it. Now
Ah, ele não
bugger
matou o
off.
cara.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? If you know anything about her, I'd appreciate it.
Never heard of her. She's pretty, I'll keep an eye out.
Goodbye, young man.
The wet boots will be proud of me.
I have this thirst for blood. This is despicable.
As long as you have the money.
Good evening, miss.
Good evening, sir. Are you interested in a miraculous cure for this unknown and deadly epidemic?
Actually, I am.
Then you have come to the right place. The famous Swanborough cordial is all you need to help keep you in perfect health.
Oh, really? Why didn't I hear about it during my studies? I'm Jonathan Reed, by the way. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Ah, my brother has spoken of your research, sir. I'm Loretta Swanborough, and it's always a pleasure to meet a fellow healer.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like to talk about competition.
Competition, you say?
Never met her, but it seems she provides some sort of medical care to the poor. The whole thing has to be some sort of scam, if you ask me.
I'd like to see what kind of medicine you're selling.
What do you want? Leave me alone.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I'm looking for Nurse Dorothy Crane.
There is no Dorothy Crane here. Now goodbye.
I'm afraid this medical leaflet says the opposite, sir.
Really? Well, I'm afraid I'm going to close this door right now. Go bother someone else, Mr. Doctor.
To enter that house, I must discover who this man really is. Maybe I could start by observing what he's up to.
A strange man was at the door with a pass for our medical facility. I refused him entry.
Darius, how could you know he didn't need our help?
His clothes were too finely
Não, o barulho
tailored to
da
be for
chuva
Whitechapel.
das latas é muito massa.
Perhaps just a friend of that stray poet who is always about.
Richard Nithercott? No, not of the same. Yes. I saw him drifting around St. Mary's Church. I swear he is tracking me just downwind.
I must talk to that journalist or the poet. They must know about Darius. Nearby the church they just mentioned.
This week, Joe.
It's not my callback. You paid one way or another.
Please, Joe. How long have we known each other? We even used to be neighbours, for Christ's sake.
I'd prefer not to give you another beating, Barrett.
Soon the time will come when...
Forgive my interruption.
Do not apologize, my son. Father Tobias Whitaker is always happy to teach mortals about the incoming Armageddon.
I am Dr. Jonathan Reed, and I just have a few questions.
A scientist? You are much more lost than I thought, my son.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like the liberal ideas of nurses, but I especially abhor that Nurse Crane you mentioned.
Why do you hate Nurse Crane more than other nurses?
Before coming to London, she was a member of the communist resistance in her country. That's what happens when you let a woman get involved in politics. Women are allowed to take care of male patients. It's obvious only they have the necessary moral fibre.
I have had enough for tonight. Goodbye.
Filha da puta. Mordendo.
Beauty and grace. Whitechapel is not just disease, desertion, and despair.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions.
Please be my guest. Although I may not be the best informant regarding this part of town, my words speak about that which the eyes cannot see.
Really? Are you an artist of some kind?
I'm a poet, sir. Richard Nethercott, at your service.
May I ask you a few questions about the district?
Extraordinary part of town, is it not? I'll be glad to help you, if I can.
What can you tell me about an old man called Darius?
Darius Petrescu? Yes, I know him. At first, I thought he was only a small publisher. I invited him to publish my work, but his reaction was pretty clear.
Not interested in your talent?
Darius is an old political activist who takes delight in printing tracts and lampoons. Those communist activities only require mediocre writing skills.
What can you tell me about an old man called Darius?
Darius Petrescu? Yes, I know him.
Not interested in your...
Darius is an old political...
I'm looking for Dorothy Crane, a nurse who lives in this vicinity.
Dorothy Crane. Oh, I love the name. The Crane of Whitechapel. Sounds very...
Tell me, Mr. Nethercott, why seek inspiration in Whitechapel? Do you not think it a little morbid?
On the contrary, sir. Whitechapel is full of life, full of beauty. Just like my dear muse, the wonderful Camellia.
What can you tell me about Camellia?
Not much. And that's the beauty of it. She can't speak, you know. She's a locked mystery who exhales kindness and sweetness.
Perhaps you're just afraid to find out the truth about your muse.
One day, perhaps, I'll ask her to come with me. But will she still be my wild flower of Whitechapel if she moves uptown?
And have you ever tried to learn more about her? Where she lives?
Maybe I prefer she remains an enigma.
In what way, exactly?
The struggle by gaslight, the barren smiles, and the added hunger.
If you say so.
Such vibrant antagonism and...
Vivid, of course, yes. And what about...
Oh, yes, the poignant distress. You see what I mean, don't...
May I ask what you're doing at this hour of night?
Not at all. I'm just enjoying the pleasure of a quiet walk.
But are you not afraid of the epidemic?
Oh, why should I? I see some equity in it.
If you say so. But as...
Thank you, Doctor. But we both... pity.
I'll leave you alone, sir. Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed. I know what you're thinking. A tall stranger who meets... I know you understand. Camellia, I know you work for Dorothy Crane. Please tell me about her secret dispenser. A stubborn and mute. Tell me about Richard Nethercott. I understand. Very well.
Gripe frequentemente se agrava com o quarto de melhor prevenção de vírus em casa.
I'm not looking for what you're selling.
All right then, but be quick.
Christina, have you been examined? The epidemic is spreading.
I don't like doctors or hospitals, but I don't like you.
Considering your...
If it is going to happen, it will happen.
You can put your own life in danger. That's your decision.
And you think that would worry me? If you knew the man...
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke...
I don't know her, but I know her name is Dorothy.
You seem to respect her. Tell me about yourself.
Are you joking with me? People don't usually...
I have no interest in your work.
Short story.
I always thought I was the master of my own fate. But...
You know, this money is not only for me.
Goodbye, miss. Take care of yourself.
The disease upon us is not an accident of
Ninguém
nature,
aí, padre.
but the...
Good evening.
It's far.
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost?
All scientists are entangled in...
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you are.
Well, you are seeking up.
I am. But the answers I seek are... What do you mean?
All science.
Quite a judgmental...
Well, you are seeking...
Well, I suppose I can spare a few minutes.
As a doctor, you must be aware of the decimate...
What do you mean?
The beast is finally revealing its...
Really? And what would...
We must fight the disease before this legion...
What is left then?
Cleansing...
Tell me, Tobias, what exactly is your plan concerning the cleansing of this city?
God will recognize his own. More than...
Purification by fire has proved useful.
Your lack of faith is predictable. But
You're mad and dangerous. You're...
My son, if you think salvation is a free...
Joseph,
Vicar Larrabee of St. Mary's Church.
What do you mean when you...
Also,
Quite a judge...
well, you are...
Well...
As a doctor, you must be aware...
What do you mean?
The beast is...
I have heard enough.
Padreco otário, cheio de blá blá blá.
Excuse me, sir. Are you familiar with this part of town? Name's Clayton Darby, reporter.
Sorry, I'm new to Whitechapel. But perhaps you could help me since you're a journalist. My name is Jonathan Reed.
Dr. Reed, the famous surgeon. I'll gladly help if I'm able, sir.
Have you any idea of the danger you face in these streets at night?
I've had to run and hide more than once from frenzied mobs incensed by the fever. Do you think the flu is really responsible for this, Doctor?
I'm convinced there is more at work here than a simple epidemic.
Really? To be honest, I could say the same. Some of the sick I saw or heard of. My God, what happened to them?
Why are the newspapers keeping silent about the Spanish influenza? It's as though none of you care.
There's a war going on. People shouldn't be demoralized by news of deadly diseases.
I served in France. Our top priority must be to put an end to this butchery. This war must stop now.
Sir, streets are a battlefield too. An invisible and untold war is going on, and it must be stopped.
What is a journalist doing in this borough after sunset?
He goes where none of his colleagues would dare to go, to inform the country.
So you risk your life to reveal the truth. I saw many reporters do the same during the war.
Whitechapel is the crucible of so many untold stories and tragedies. I want people to know them.
That's quite honorable of you. But is the public interested?
Not at all, sir. And that's why I'm an independent journalist, hoping to sell some stories.
Christina Popper claims she sells her body because she can't find any other work. Do you believe her?
Of course I do. Her story is exactly what I want my readers to understand. We live in an intolerant and divided nation.
Do you think things will ever change, Mr. Darby?
I believe the situation can only improve. And now that women can vote, I'm convinced things will change.
I heard you're investigating an underground medical dispensary in Whitechapel. What do you know about it?
Not much, I'm afraid. They are wary of strangers, and I'm not really an acquaintance of theirs. Why do you care?
I'm a doctor, Mr. Darby. I care about everything involving public health and this epidemic.
Are you sure you're not just concerned about the repercussions that a scandal involving a certain Nurse Crane from the Pembroke Hospital would bring?
Without a doubt, you are a damn fine journalist, Mr. Darby. What do you know of her accomplice, a man named Darius?
I don't know much about the man. He's very cautious, never goes out, doesn't seem to have any friends or family.
He never goes out?
No. A few days ago, he unexpectedly did. I followed him, but it was just a ruse to keep me away from his house.
Really? How do you know?
He went to the nearest mailbox, but just before posting his letter, he ripped it up and threw it away.
He has no relatives at all?
No. Except for that strange man, a poet named Richard Nethercott, who sometimes comes by. Darius would never let him in.
Where can I find this Mr. Nethercott?
He spends most of his time lurking around Whitechapel, talking to himself or declaring verses. These days, you can usually find him behind the church.
Goodbye, Mr. Darby. Farewell. Good evening, Mr.
And good evening to you too.
I'll leave you alone. The content of Darius' letter to his children could give me more leverage to enter. Darius is a bit less of a mystery now. It should not be that difficult to incite him to let me in.
You are blinded by your
for peace of mind.
Can't you just look the other way this week, Joe? Come on, we can sort it out, right?
It's not my call, Barrett. You pay one way or another.
Please.
Excuse me, sir. I have
Another journalist? I didn't answer.
I'm not a journalist. I'm a doctor.
A doctor, you say?
Really? But still, here I am.
I'm Joe Peterson to some, but Colossus Joe to most.
Have you heard of a nurse named Dorothy Crane? She's a colleague of...
Dorothy Crane? Yeah, I know her.
Could you please tell me more about...
She's a nice girl. Tries to help the migrant.
May I ask what you do around here?
I do whatever I want, and sometimes even more.
According to you, physicians are...
Not familiar with this neighborhood.
This part of town does have quite a reputation.
Totally. Look at me, for instance. I always look my...
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
Come on, take a look. Don't be afraid. Welcome, sir. Please.
I am Dr. Reed. I would like to...
Doctor? Interesting.
Right then. Show me what you have.
Fancy buying?
You never... Have you heard of a nurse called Dorothy Crane?
Nurse Crane? So the bitch really is a nurse, then?
Yes, she's a nurse. And quite a good one.
Dorothy Crane ain't even a real name. Something like...
That doesn't explain why she...
Your precious Nurse Crane gives away medical...
How is business?
Business? I had no business. Between this racket...
I see. Sounds like you blame someone in...
It's no secret Joe Peterson spends his time harassing merchants.
As a merchant, you see Whitechapel every day. Have you noticed anything?
What you mean besides the epidemic, the war, and all the usual...
Have you been hurt? Violence is increasing in the borough.
Yeah. A few nights ago, some blokes...
Where did this happen? Why did you go there? Goodbye for now, Mr. Lewis. Mr. Petrescu, just 1 minute, please.
You again. Go.
Sir, wait. Stop this nonsense. I know Nurse Crane is here. Shall we speak man to man? Don't you see we're on the same side?
I'm nothing like you, Mr.
Yes, you are. You too, but...
I have to admit your words have conviction. If you want to talk to Dorothea, you must go across the...
We've not been formally introduced.
I am Darius Petrescu.
So Dorothy's real name is not...
Like myself and many people in this...
She seems important to the community.
More than you can imagine.
Tell me everything you know about Camellia, the mute Florida.
I do not believe in the afterlife, Doctor, but...
Are you not worried for...
She is as brave as she is tough, and clever, too. If only I had met her when I was younger.
Are you in love with Camellia, Mr. Petrescu?
Don't be stupid. If I had met her when I was younger, we could have won our revolution.
Who is she, really? Do you know where she's from?
She's not from around here, that's all we know. Camellia is not even her name. It's her favorite flower.
You say she has no close family?
Well, there's that awful poet who constantly follows her around like a lost puppy. A good man for sure, but a very poor writer.
Do you have any family left?
Who knows? I have a
Don't be embarrassed, sir.
It's quite awkward to talk about our families.
This war won't last forever.
No. I have taught strength and determination.
I know you fought for your country when it was occupied, Darius.
I know my days are numbered, and I know I will...
But Romania escaped the grasp of the Austro-Hungarian Empire.
But it's not the country I fought for.
How did you meet Nurse Crane, Darius?
I'm her oldest friend in England.
You mean occupied Romania, don't you?
Really? Then perhaps you have...
Goodbye, Mr. What do we have here, nurse?
Patient Razvan Vasily. High fever running on 3 days. Complaints of dizziness, muscle aches, and head pain. Diagnosed with influenza.
Treatment?
Aspirin and salicin for the fever and discomfort. Liquids for dehydration, but he's having trouble keeping even water down.
Aspirin and salicin, you say? Why not some warm milk and a kiss on the cheek? Where are the quinine salts?
Tried buying, borrowing, even stealing. There's none to be found, Doctor.
He's not convulsing, he's choking. He's not getting any air. Scalpel! Hand me that scalpel!
What can I do, Doctor?
It's too dangerous to operate with these convulsions. Sedative, nurse. Do we have any anesthetics?
I'm sorry, Doctor. None at all.
I need to perform a tracheostomy. Short pipe. That rubber tube will do. We're going to cut a passage for air through the neck.
Yes, Doctor. He's breathing again, but he's coughing up blood.
Internal hemorrhaging. I need to make another incision into the chest cavity to drain the fluids from the lung. Prepare another tube.
A thoracostomy? Doctor, we've nothing to fight the infection. We need an aseptic environment.
Right then, Nurse Crane. What do you suggest we do?
I've no idea. I'm not the doctor.
Time is of the essence. We need to perform a thoracic drain.
Yes, Doctor.
Porra, pediu pra fazer uma coisa e parou o tratamento.
He's still bleeding, Doctor. I'm losing his pulse.
The drain must have punctured the intercostal artery. There's too much blood.
Are you all right, Doctor?
I can't see. Yes. I have this, nurse. Allow me to finish the procedure alone. I need the room.
I'd prefer to stay and see this through. This is my patient, Doctor. I have needle and thread for stitching the wound.
Good. The stitches are holding. How's he doing?
We're losing him. We've lost his pulse. He's dying, Doctor.
A dose of epinephrine, now.
Yes, Doctor. We've lost the pulse. He's gone, Doctor.
Nurse, we did everything we could.
Truly? Everything you could? Is that how you'll report this in your log? Is this how the war went? Piling up one poor corpse beside the next?
This was not an influenza-induced seizure. I've never seen symptoms like these on the continent.
Neither have I. But the previous symptoms leading up to this attack were the same, indistinguishable from the epidemic.
No. There was something more vile in these reactions. Something primitive.
There have been numerous reports of mental breakdowns caused by the fever that accompanies the flu itself, Doctor.
Yes, but... I'd best take some samples of the blood for analysis.
I doubt you're here to test my bedside manners. I suspect it was more than intuition alone that led you to us. So, how might I be of service, Dr. Reed?
Your heart might be in the right place, but you can't carry on with this blackmail. For God's sake, Dorothy, it's extortion. It's a serious crime.
Doctor, you think your warnings scare me?
You've convinced me of the sincerity of your actions and their noble justifications. But all the same, blackmail is a crime, and it will stop, Nurse Crane.
So, are you going to turn me over to the authorities?
Listen very carefully, Dorothy. You will erase from your memory everything you pretend to know about Lady Ashbury and Pembroke Hospital.
Let that rich bitch off the hook over my dead
Nurse
body.
Crane, enough. Listen as if your life depended on every word. I know you've a generous heart who gives freely to those in need, but you shall walk away from the shadier streets of your business.
I will never abandon...
Dorothy, the discussion has come to a close. Your clandestine activities in the Resistance are over. Let it go.
I'll let it go. Yes. All gone.
Credo.
It's locked, all right.
This one stinks already. It's one of them vermin.
Agora o bicho. Pô, agora eu tô fodão, hein? Contra a caixa de correio e a carta.
By many. Even the flu is no match for the Swanborough cordial.
Good evening.
Tell me, who intrigues you?
The region itself is something to see.
What do you think of the locals?
Most of them are afraid or desperate.
Is there anyone I should avoid?
Cadogan Bates, without a doubt. The bloody bastard
You look ill, Miss Swanborough. I wonder if your concoction will do the trick.
I'm perfectly fine, thanks to my miraculous elixir.
Goodbye, Miss Swanborough. Good evening, Reg.
I'm afraid...
A gun, alcohol.
I won't end up another drunk arsehole littering the streets. Not me. The wet boots will be proud of me.
Matar esse demônio. Toma.
It's locked, all right. Human blood. Whoever left these marks did so deliberately.
Kill it, boy! Burn it, boys! Look at that! Die, Bernie! Burn it, boys!
Vocês mereceram. Quero fazer uma armadilha pra mim. Bobalhões. Esse. de dano. Na noite seguinte. Relatos de desaparecimento misterioso aumentam nas últimas. Eu tenho que ajudar os caras. Tratamento de buraco. Olha aí. O padre tá bem. Tratamento de fadiga. Ah, agora entendi. Valeu então, pessoal. Depois a gente joga mais.